What's up, guys, and welcome back to another letter story featuring Artosis. Today's game is a Protoss versus Terran. He's playing against a guy named Juan Saitos. They seem to know each other because there are a few good lucks and greetings exchanged between the players. It's cross spawns, Artie playing here in this beautiful teal green color, and his opponent is a white Protoss. So white isn't too bad on the terrain in terms of tracking. We should probably be okay. So we'll stick with these colors through the course of today's game. We're on Polestar, and yeah, man, this game was played at the end of January. So one that I've had in the bank to do for a little while, and I'll finally have gotten around to it. And I have a feeling this one is going to be a beautiful macro TVP. We've been doing a lot of RT games lately, and he has been, particularly in the month of March, he's been playing incredibly well. Well, late February, early March. Just hit a bit of a purple patch in terms of form, which is excellent. And he's also just been mixing it up, doing all sorts of fun builds. I think before I hit record on this video, I got an alert in my YouTube from Falcon Paladin to say, hey, 700 people have watched this game where Artosis has nuked the Protoss. You should become one of them. And I was like, what? Artosis is nuking Protosses now? What the hell's going on? So, yeah, man, the man is pulling out everything in the old repertoire. And I'm here for it. It's exciting. It's good to see. It's good to hear about. Many people accuse him of being too conservative and too one-dimensional. I don't think he can stand accused of that anymore, especially if he's doing interesting and fun things like nuking Protoss. That's awesome. I just finished doing a game of his where he went Mass Goliath, and I've done 3 games of his this weekend where he's gone mech in Terran versus Zerg. So definitely is mixing it up. Something that I've also seen him do pretty nicely is get a very good factory timing. We are not going to have one of those today, unfortunately. Left side mining, also a January game where I don't think he'd quite optimize, but 233 on left side mining, not too bad. His personal base that I saw him do was a 228, could even be 227. It was really, really crisp, and it was on Dominator. So that is the benchmark for him to beat. We do monitor that though each and every PVT that we do. We're not going to get an early zealot from our Protoss by the looks of things. We're going straight into core, and this is just a very, very standard opening from both players. So before we get into the meat and biscuits of the game, I just want to say thank you to everybody for the swelling of support, engagement, and growth that I've had on the channel. We are hot on the heels of getting to 1,000 subs before the end of this year, which is our goal. If you are a regular viewer or you just like what you see today and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And for those who are subscribers and regular viewers, please do remember to hit that like button and engage with the video. It just reminds YouTube that I'm here, reminds me that you're watching, and also just gives me very valuable feedback and input. A lot of the adjustments and the choices I make and the games I'm now doing and the types of games I'm picking is all largely dictated by the feedback I've been receiving from the community. And it is very much appreciated and always taken on board, even if it's not immediate, because I do bank up quite a bit of content. I'm a very, 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 very busy person. So for me, sitting down and recording a game and uploading it the next day, I don't have that luxury. I have to plan. So yes, there will be a couple of weeks lag perhaps before I can put changes into play, but I will respond to your comments immediately in real time so you know that they're heard. And I'm always trying to learn and improve the viewing experience for everyone. Okay, so we've done a 3 Marine expand before our Vulture has even... No, we've done a Vulture expand, excuse me. We've added our machine shop. Should have our first upgrade coming out of there now, which is going to be mines. So very, very standard opening from our both players, if I'm honest. It was a pre-range expansion from Protoss, who's now gone up to 2 gates before Robo. A little unusual. You tend to see the Robo and then 2 additional gateways. But this tells me, and I could be wrong, but I'm starting to read the signals better and better, that it is likely to be Reaver play from our Protoss. But we'll see what the next item is. Obviously, the Robo itself needs to rock up where it is there. And we'll monitor if it's just going to be 2 gate Goon until he has Reaver. or what his plans are. So sending out another scouting probe. I don't know, not sure if this is his original scouting probe or just sending a secondary scout. But getting rid of the egg that was bathing? Blocking the pathing. That's what I was trying to say. Just too many things. Just a fun way to round out the mouth from the south. Blah, blah, blah. Second gas on the way. Second factory on the way. So progressing quite nicely into our build. I'm pretty sure we'll see the eBay. There it is. We see a very quick citadel. So a 6-minute citadel pre-third base screams that we are not going Reaver. So much for Rabbit's theories on Reavers. We are actually exploding up gateways pre-expansion. So this could be some kind of rush. This could be some kind of strange Arbiter build. I actually have no idea what I'm looking at here, because this number of gateways before a third base you almost never ever see. But this again is Artosis' ladder account. So he matches against all sorts of B rank and low A rank Protoss players all the time. And like he will tell you if you ask him, and even if you don't, you never quite know what to expect from, I quote, them stupid Protoss players. So we'll see what our Protoss player has in store for Artosis today. It's Templar Archives after the Citadel. It's also legs. So like I've said before, I don't know what I'm looking at here. It's potentially a timing. He is still making workers. So let's see what we get. I love this little ring of mines that we have here from Artie. He's got really good vision on the map. So he should have a pretty good sense of where things are. And I think once he gets up a decent... He's got to skip bunker. He's got to skip a lot of things here. So his build is really, really optimized. Adding a couple more factories. So he's going to add the factories before the third. I think if he had scanned... He doesn't have scanners yet. But if he scanned the main of the Protoss and he counted the gateways, he'd be very grateful that he's decided to mass up factories before taking a third base. Because otherwise... I think he could be found wanting on the unit side of things. So what do we have? We've got goons, we've got zealots coming out. This smells like Arbiter. It's definitely Arbiter. 2-base Arbiter. Wow. Do you see 2-base Arbiter at this rank? I wouldn't have thought so. It's quite a low level build. Simply because it's so easy to counter. You just, as a Terran, you've just basically got to delay your third, hold the initial attack, expand, and win. You know what I mean? It's not a build that's particularly difficult to play against theoretically and otherwise. So Arto does seem to be moving into position to expand. He doesn't know what he's up against, although I lie, he did scan. I heard it, but I didn't check where he scanned. So he would have scanned the main, and he would have seen this tech. Again, he would have known exactly what he's up against, which is basically 5-gate Arbiter. Still hasn't got a third. This is unreal. It's 9 minutes. 9 minutes. His third is lagging behind Terrence. Although I seem to think that I saw Artosis start a command center, but he didn't. He set up for it, but he's actually delayed it, which is 100% what I was saying. So the move to counter 2-base Arbiter as Terran is to delay your third and make more units. So he's made additional factories as opposed to a command center. Now he starts his command center, which I think is right. So he's delayed his third to make sure he's got the macro and the factory production available to counter what is some kind of timing. This build, from a Protoss point of view, doesn't build up to anything other than a timing. Because if you just do this and don't attack, you're just too far behind the Terran. Because you've delayed your third base in exchange for technology and units and production. If you don't use it, then the trade-off was worthless. So the Arbiter's on the way. Stasis is being developed. So this could just be a stasis bust of some kind. We'll keep an eye on if he researches recall. Is he making 3 forges? Oh my god, what am I even watching? 2 forges here. And Another one over here. He's making triple forge. Triple forge Arbiter, man. This is crazy. 2 base Arbiter into triple forge. I laugh because we think that he exaggerates and he runs into stupid shit on ladder, but this is this is exactly that. You know, there's no doubt about it. I cannot defend that this is a build of any kind that anybody would do. It's just something that this dude has kind of taught himself, and that's what he's going with today. And he probably makes no apologies for it, but he's gained nothing. I mean, he's 4 supply ahead of Artosis. Has just done a very, very solid 3-base macro build. So you find yourself wondering, where is this Protoss going to get his damage? He's now taking a 4th. So he's built this up and not attacked at all. So now I'm a bit intrigued as to what should happen. He's got a nice number of observers. It's probably the only compliment I can give this chap. So he's got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 on the way here, 1 on the way here. So really, really trying to get as much vision on the map as possible. But what he's going to do with said vision, I do not know. I think he started with making tech and rushing Arbiter, and now wants to try and pivot into expansion toss. And this is where I think Artosis sometimes misses a trick. I think here he's had the opportunity to move out and pretty much just go and kill his opponent. I mean, I think he's got a pretty good timing on him here, and he will have for quite some time. I mean, he's ahead in supply. And I just don't know if Artosis has the game sense to read that this build from Protoss is what we call stuck in the middle. So it's neither achieved economic efficiency or optimization, or achieved any damage through the trade-offs that he did by delaying his 3rd base for as long as he has. And I think by Artosis just kind of just sitting back, not doing anything, he allows the Protoss a way out by expanding into even more locations. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure Artosis is going to unsiege when he maxes up anyway and push out, so perhaps it won't matter. But this is something that I do see, having done a lot of his games, where I think he potentially misses a trick. That being said, he is now unsieging, and it does seem like he's moving across the map. So, I mean, credit to him. He didn't quite wait to max out, but I mean, it's pretty much the same. This guy is playing at 160 APM, so I can't imagine he's a very, very high-ranking Protoss. Interestingly enough, Artosis said in a cast of his that B-rank Protosses are usually good at PvT, and the reason why they B-rank is because they struggle in Protoss versus Zerg, and that's what drags the MMR down, and that's what always makes them tricky to play against. That does make a lot of sense, because PvZ, in my opinion, is by far the most difficult match, so I do get where he's coming from in that regard. I see this all too often in his games as well. His opponent literally just runs right past him. So this is what's happening here. We're eating so many mines, even though we've got tons and tons of observers. And Artosis has basically sieged up here on the front door. This wall in, though, is proving to be quite painful. He's also just attacking and pushing up on the natural here. Meanwhile, our Protoss has decided, well, you've not got too many units back home here. No vessels of any kind are in place, so the scanners are going to have to do the job. Once you lift off, though, scanners ain't going to scan anything for you, unfortunately. So run straight in the front door here, and this has become one of these ridiculous and all too familiar scenarios where Artosis has moved his entire army across the map, and Protoss has run his army right past, and we're now trading bases, right? So this is where your decision making and your composure is kind of probably the thing that ends up determining the results of the game, and nothing else. It's not about strategy anymore. It's about decision making under pressure on the spot. I like this little stasis here, kind of blocking everybody in, because he's been able to run right up. Protoss has not played a particularly good game, not done a particularly good build, and is going to lose his natural and his 4th. His 3rd base remains intact for the time being, although I think if Artosis grouped the units, I don't think pushing here makes sense. I think kill this base is a good call, and then just wait for the Protoss to come down. Also needs to mop up what is still a very, very painful and somewhat large amount of units over here. And this Protoss has pulled into a pretty big lead. I don't know if Artosis is going to be able to mop this up. Has decided to keep on pressing forward and try and kill gateways and all of the things. And the Protoss is still having a real good time knocking over buildings in the main. One Goliath is doing some work here, but otherwise that base for the time being remains intact. This Nexus is still up. Would like to see him kill Nexuses if I could, or if I could ideally request it, which me as a caster, I do not have such privileges, I'm afraid. So Arbiters are doing arbitrary things. And the stasis is going to halt what was happening there. But siege tanks have fended off the Dragoons as well. And we go back to taking stock of where we are in this game, which is this Nexus is still up. He does knock down this Nexus. Thank you, Artosis. I really appreciate that, friend. And so we have 95 versus 117. Comes to tidy up what remains of Artie's forces here, probably with an attention just to re-establish this base. This base remained totally uninhibited in all those exchanges. It's probably the only really big pity. Artie has got this back up and running as well, which is good. I think he left it off and re-established. And so we go. So we go back again. Now what's going to happen is the question. 44 SCVs plays 46 probes. Our Protoss has got a little bit extra money. Artosis has got plenty of gas. A little bit mineral star for the time being. Re-establishing his natural. Spreading out some tanks. I don't see him attacking for some time. But I also don't see our Protoss being able to easily kill him either. I like this sort of spread of tanks that he's got here. This is good. Mines should slow him down. Here he goes though. He seems to have intentions to move in here. The depot wall is doing a decent job in making the pathing tricky. Good body blocking with some of these vultures. Perhaps some friendly fire mines doing good work there as well. Vultures though are going to tidy up this last remaining Dragoon. And he didn't achieve a whole bunch of anything there, I didn't think. Does choose to retreat. And re-establishing a base of his own. So he's trying to get up to back up to 4 bases. And Artosis is trying to get back up to 3 mining bases because his main is already mined out. As is our Protoss, right? So in terms of mining base counts, we've got 1, which is quite low. 2, which is unestablished. And 3, which is now starting to get low. Artosis has got a nice full base here. Nice full base here. Probably a little bit more in terms of mineral patches here. In terms of meat on the bone. So still very much a playable game for both players here. No doubt about that at all. And Artosis intercepting this probe transfer. Also going to prove pretty handy. I think he's just going to keep pressing here. There's only 2 cannons. However, the Arbiters and Dragoons come to fortify and fend off, and successfully do. Uh-oh. So the mines are being tripped by the rallying Dragoons. They does have an observer here though, so tidies that up. And he's double gatewaying here. I like his walling style. I think that's pretty good. Obviously, it's very vulnerable to drops. We all know, though, that Artosis, unless it's a Zerg versus Terran, we see him use drops very, very seldom. So he doesn't use it in Terran versus Protoss. And I think that is potentially something that limits some of his dynamicism. The extent to which you are dynamic is the word I'm trying to say. Or the opposite way of looking at it is the extent to which you are unpredictable. So that's a part of his game that I think he underutilizes for sure. His vulture play though is really, really good. And I've seen some games recently of his where he's using it in Terran versus Zerg as well. And in both matches, Terran versus Protoss and Terran versus Zerg, it's really good. I don't do TVTs because nobody likes match sort of mirror matches. But I can imagine that his Volta play in TVT is also very, very solid. I've seen it on his stream from time to time. So 124 plays 145. This game is incredibly close. What spells are we getting? We're getting a Vessel. We're getting Goliaths. Our triple forges are not forging. So what's so funny is you make the 3 forges and not only one of them is spinning. And what sort of upgrades do we have on our... Oh, okay, because he's got 323. So that's the one thing that I will say this Protoss has done really well, is he has rushed his upgrades on his ground units to make them as strong as they can plausibly be. No protection here, sadly, on this base, so some SCVs are going to go down. And when I say some, I mean a lot. So down to 42 SCVs here in total. This command center is going to get away. Looking to do a bit more counter harassment. I don't really know where you would counter harass here. He's got every position pretty nicely fortified. Looking to expand here as well and take what would in essence be a 5th base, but a 4th mining base. Still deciding to push forward, but I think once again he can probably just send some units over from his rally to tidy this up. Unless the cannon does the job for him. And it does. And now suddenly our Protoss has exploded to being maxed out. And Artosis is going to have to deal with a big attack. He's deciding to expand here instead of protecting this position. I really like that decision. I think it's going to be much, much easier to contain the Protoss's fight into this square. Well, actually not this square, right? Then all the way here where he would need to have been able to entrench himself to be able to protect this position a bit more easily. So good call there. Protoss are using the map control that he's enjoying to expand up into another main. Usually in a PvT, if the Protoss is getting a second main, life is becoming very, very tricky. So I think Artosis is going to have to keep an eye on that for as much as he can. Another Arbiter coming out. This player's been non-stop Arbiter. A Wraith is being made by Artosis, so perhaps that's just to fight with the Arbiters, who knows? So I think we are building up to a nice big engagement here. He's got 5. Gee whiz, he likes Arbiters, this man, doesn't he? Lots and lots of mines being laid. Holy crap. Since he's vaulted here to confirm yet another expansion. So Artie knows he's going to be on the clock. He's only got 42 workers. So he's in, I think, a precarious position, shall we say. So let's get rid of that observer. And interestingly enough, the Protoss chooses not yet to engage. Perhaps looking for another angle. I haven't seen him research recall. Oh, he's doing it now. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on what sort of recall he tries to do. He's losing Arbiters for free. Does stasis the science vessel. And here we go. Running in and losing so many zealots to mines. Holy crap. The goons, though, are getting on top of a lot of the tanks. There's a lot of stasis here. It's got to rely on scan because I think the vessel is not going to afford him any sight while frozen. Also running in here to try and pressure this newly established source of income. It's a deep line of tanks here, though. The frozen ones being unable to participate in the fight is a real pain. So the goons do get on top of this position. Even more SCVs dies down to 32. And I think this toss with a somewhat unglorious style is probably going to get this one done. Just based on the amount of damage he's done in certain exchanges here. Going to have the critical mass of goons to pick off the remaining tanks. Another stasis as well, just for good measure. Should pick off this vessel. The mines should do a bit of friendly firework and a bit of goon juicing. There we go. I do love goon juicing. It's such a good term and so apt. RT has pressured this top left position, so didn't have all of his tanks and perhaps cost him in that engagement. These tanks would have been very useful in that fight. Protoss is just going to send an overwhelming mass of units to now tidy this up. Kind of trying to walk around the mines. Actually, having the observer here is pretty solid. Another nice drag. Nothing protecting these tanks. DT's also waltzed in from this gateway at the top and eliminated that. So these bases are still protected, and he also managed to save those probes on the way back. So a fun game today, guys. I can't really put my finger on anything specific that I think RT did wrong. It's unfortunate when you go into a base trade scenario and it becomes a bit chaotic. I just think he was a bit unlucky in some ways. Perhaps he was a bit too slow in moving out to pressure this Protoss initially, because this Protoss's build was very suboptimal in the early game. But yeah, it was just one of those games where I think on another day it could have gone a different way. But yeah, today is going to be Protoss's day, I'm afraid. Does GG respectfully, and that's the end of that. But yeah, I think I already have this guy's number. I don't think he's much better than him at all. I do feel, especially because of that really strange 2-base Arbiter into 4 bases opening, where he had no timing or no attack of any kind. Just the base trade scenario really just turned into a little bit of chaos, not keeping track of where the Protoss army was. Ideally, he wanted to just engage with that army head on. I think he could have won the game pretty early on. But yeah, it's just one of those games. Solid from both players, and I very much enjoyed it. I do enjoy mixing in some of the shorter games, some of the fun games with the macro games as well, which is why I chose to include this one. If you liked it, please do hit that like button. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. And until next time, thanks so much for watching, guys. You take it easy, and I will see you soon.